Hey, do you know how to raise a husband? Would you like to make the he of the house the perfect helpmate in the home? Then join us as we present Raising a Husband, dedicated to family life and out to find the best-raised husbands in America.
What's the matter with father?
Here to ask the whys and wherefores in our program is that inquisitive mistress of ceremonies, lovable, laughable Irene Beasley.
Thank you, Dwight Weast, and hello there, everybody. Welcome to Raising a Husband. Once again, we're out to find the best-raised husbands in America. And once again, 4 gentlemen have come from our studio audience to don house dress and dust cap and compete for tonight's top honors.
Are they in top form?
Are they in top form?
Going to make them give us a showing?
Are they going to give us a showing?
And then?
And then the candidate who proves himself the best-raised husband here tonight wins grand prizes for his wife.
And for himself, the title America's Best-Raised Husband of the Week.
Acting as judges for the contest are Mr. and Mrs. John Coviello, married 36 years.
Mr. and Mrs. Priest, married 4 days.
And Mrs. William Lipschitz, whose husband will soon return from overseas. So on with the show, let the fun begin, and let's meet husband in house dress number 1. Your name, sir?
David Steinberg.
Hello there, Mr. Steinberg. You look very, very dashing. You're feeling well equipped for tonight's examination.
Fine.
You got your dust cap well anchored.
Okay.
And your house dress is comfortably arranged. I beg your pardon, sir?
Surprised you had one big enough.
Oh, we have them all sizes here for our husbands. We have all sizes husbands up here. You know, we have to have house dresses to fit them. Tell me, sir, you're all set to prove your merits as the well-raised husband?
Yes.
How long has this been going on, Mr. Sternberg? How long have you been married?
15 years.
And have you children?
Yes.
Do they help you with the housework?
Well, to help my wife.
They help your wife. And in exchange, sometimes you help the children with their schoolwork. Is that it?
I do.
You try to answer their questions?
Well, the ones I can.
The ones you can. They do ask a lot of questions, don't they? Do you help the kids with their arithmetic?
Yes, occasionally.
And with their spelling?
Yes.
Mr. Steinberg, very quickly, spell the word broke.
B-R-O-K-E.
Spell joke.
J-O-K-E.
Spell folk.
F-O-L-K.
Spell the white of an egg.
W-H-I-T-E.
W-H-I-T-E. I expected, I wondered if you were going to get that. That's one you can take home and try on the kids. Most folks spell W-Y-O-L-K. Mr. Steinberg, should the well-raised husband make a point of knowing his children's friends?
Yes, I think so.
I'm going to name some people who are undoubtedly friends of your children, and we want to see if you, as the well-raised husband, can tell us just who these people are and where you find them. Now, it's $1 for each person that you identify correctly, and a surprise bonus if you can prove acquaintanceship with the whole group. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Who are Maggie and Jiggs?
Characters in Bringing Up Father.
Characters in Bringing Up Father. Absolutely correctly. Come right into the microphone a little closer there. Who is Gravel Gertie, and where do you find her? She shouldn't be hard
Dick
to...
Tracy.
Dick Tracy, that's right. Who's Skeezix, and where do you find him?
And Gasoline Gus.
Gasoline
Allie.
That's right.
Well, I got the gasoline.
You got the gasoline, yes, sir. Who's Blondie, and what's her last name?
I didn't know she had a last name.
Blondie? Oh, Dagwood. No coaching there from the audience. Did you ever bump the head?
Oh, Bumhead.
Not quite. Bumstead, that's right. All right, so where would you find Terry, Mr. Steinberg?
And the Pirates.
Terry and the Pirates. Who is Pa Perkins, and where would you find him? We're talking now about funnies, not radio programs.
Yes, Paul Perkins.
Uh-huh. Well, who would you say his wife is?
Ma Perkins.
Ma Perkins. And where would you find him? They have a daughter. Polly, want a cracker?
Well, Polly, I suppose.
Polly and her,
Polly and the friends.
Polly and her pals. That's close enough. Who's the father of Hans and Fritz?
Captain.
That's right. Where do you find him?
The Cats and Jammer Kids.
Cats and Jammer Kids. Who is Wimpy?
Oh, there's one.
What's his chief occupation?
Oh, yes, and,
Right in the microphone, please, sir.
eating, hamburgers.
That's his occupation. Who is his very strong friend? That'll help you. A very strong friend.
Yes. Wait a minute now.
Ta-da-dun, ta-dun, dun, dun.
Funny, when I sit at home, I can think of these things in a hurry.
That's right. It's always the way it is. Well, I'll tell you, it's Popeye.
That's Popeye the Sailor.
Mr. Steinberg, this is a family party. Do you think maybe you could imitate this very familiar friend to all children? Here's a copy of Popeye's favorite song. Let's hear you do it as you think Popeye might do it. You've heard Popeye, haven't you, in the animated cartoons?
Yes, I have.
Does he talk way up here or way down here? How does he talk? Way up here or way down here?
Way down.
Way down. All right, so you just sing right out so everybody can hear you and sound as much like Popeye as you can for us and for all the kids, will you? Go ahead.
I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm strong to the finish 'cause I eat me spinach. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man.
Yes, sir. That's very fine. Mr. Steinberg, as the well-raised husband who knows his children and his children's friends, you have won how many dollars there, Dwight? $7. $7 in cash. And as a memento of the occasion, here is a surprise basket for you. In this basket, you will find candies, dates, figs, comic books, and funnies for you to read the children, and an automatic pencil with which to help the children get their lessons. Thank you, and good luck to you later tonight when our judges elect America's best raised husband of this week.
Grand prizes await the wife of the candidate elected America's Best Raised Husband of the Week. And tonight's grand prizes include an aluminum combination cooker, saucepan, casserole, double boiler, and pudding pan, and a 23-piece set of China dinnerware, American starter, nasturtium design.
Right. Now, who is this very charming candidate next in line in tonight's competition?
He's Mr. Martin Cooper, Irene, tonight's second contender for the title.
Good evening there, Mr. Cooper.
Good evening, Irene.
Hey, where are you from?
Utica, New York.
Utica, New York. And Mr. Cooper, you look very domestic. Are you feeling as domestic as you look?
You know, I've been trying to get a maid, but I see I don't need one anymore.
You've been trying to get a maid, but you see you don't need one. You've got the maid's outfit, is that it?
You're not kidding.
Mr. Cooper, you didn't rush off and leave the dishes in the sink to get here on time, did you?
No, they'll be waiting there.
Do you usually wash the dishes, Mr. Cooper?
Dishpan
Right, this
hands,
way.
did you say?
Dishpan hands, that would indicate that you do, huh? Let me ask you, do you dry the dishes as well?
Occasionally.
Do you put them away?
Yes, I do.
Do you ever drop and break them?
Well, that's telling, you know.
When you do, what happens, Mr. Cooper?
Well, I go to Woolworths and I get another one for
that's-
5 or 10 cents.
That's right. But being the well-raised husband, you are a help around the house. You don't break too many dishes.
Not too many.
Are you-
Thank God.
Are you a good manager, Mr. Cooper?
Yes, I think so.
Do you know how to order the groceries
Well, I hope so.
and stay within the budget at the same time?
I hope to.
Can you send out the laundry?
The laundry, well, I'm going to get one of these automatic washing machines. We
Oh,
won't
you
have
do
to
the
send it out.
laundry. You do the laundry yourself now?
That's right.
You do the... I'll hand to this gentleman. He does the laundry. Mr. Cooper, you're marvelous. Can you dust and mop and sweep and polish?
Well, I think from right now on I could with this housemaid's things on.
The outfit, huh? Do you get all the corners clean?
I don't know. I really don't, but I hope I do.
Well, that's good enough. An honest confession is good for the soul. Do you think that you could supervise someone else doing these chores, Mr. Cooper?
Yes, I think so.
Do you ever supervise your wife?
Well, I try to.
Is she a good housekeeper?
She's very good.
Do you know a good housekeeper when you see one, Mr. Cooper?
Well, the only one I've seen is my wife.
What did you tell me you were going to do? You know, you've been reading my mind up here. You were going to try to get a what?
Electric washing machine?
Before that, you said you were going to try to get someone to help you.
A maid.
That's right. Mr. Cooper, you don't know how much mind reading you did do because we're going to give you a chance to prove your judgment on housekeepers tonight. We want to see just how you would go about engaging the services of a maid. Now, you're going to interview 2 applicants, Mr. Cooper. You must accept one or the other of these applicants for the job. And the choice that you make will determine the reward you receive as a result of this experiment. Now, here come your 2 applicants, and just to help you out, here is a list of interview questions that you're going to ask them. Now, Mr. Cooper, if you would just come right over here.
This is Dwight Weiss speaking from backstage to tell you that these applicants are 2 actresses. One dolled up to play the role of beautiful but dumb, the other made to look a fright with a list of experience and housework a mile long. Now, let's see which one Mr. Cooper selects as
Well,
best
can you do
prospective
housework?
housekeeper. First one up is the beauty.
One of the questions. All right, Mr. Cooper. Here comes your applicant at number 1. Just step right in, please, young lady. Just step right in and walk right over to the candidate there. He's going to interview you. Just a minute, Mr. Cooper. beaver
don't
there.
need a maid anymore.
Little eager beaver. Mr. Cooper, just a minute. I want you also to see applicant number 2, whom you will interview in just a minute. Here comes applicant number 2. All right, Mr. Cooper, applicant number 1, ask her the first interview question.
Can you do housework?
What do you think?
Well, that's okay for the time being. Let's have this. Have you had any previous experience?
Does it really matter?
Not
big
at the
boy?
present moment. Can you cook?
Yes, except for vegetables. I'm not very good at those. Meat, I'm not very good at meat either. Not baking isn't so hot.
Well, your automat is good enough, I guess.
Just a minute, sir. I
My
believe
fudge is terrific.
your what is terrific, young lady?
My fudge.
Is terrific. You can cook to the extent of fudge. All right, fine.
That's fine. I
next-
love fudge.
There's a
Do you
difference.
have any references?
Do I have to have those too? Why
Well-
don't you give me a trial and find out?
I certainly will in a
Mr.
very
Cooper,
short while.
I believe you have interviewed this young lady quite thoroughly. Just tell her you'll let her know about the job later on. Just tell her you'll let her know later on.
I'll let you know about the job soon.
That's fine. All right, now, Mr. Cooper, here is applicant number 2. Before you start asking her the question,
This applicant is homely, but with experience.
a very likely prospect there, this young lady.
If my wife was with me, she would.
If your wife was with you. But suppose you just go right ahead and ask applicant number 2 the first question, Mr. Cooper.
How many years have you done housework?
You'd be surprised.
Have you had any previous experience?
Experience? I've been doing housework all my life.
My God, how long is that?
That's the military secret.
Can you cook?
Can I cook? You ought to taste my popovers and my hot breads and my vegetables and my roast beef and my plain and fancy desserts.
Oh, that sounds good. Do you have any reference?
References? I got a list of references a mile long. Here, I carried it in my portfolio. Here, take a day off and look them over, won't you?
Mr. Cooper, we haven't time for you to look over all those references right now. But which of these 2 young ladies would you employ as housekeeper? Applicant number 1 or applicant number 2? Which one do you choose?
I'd love to have applicant number 1, but my wife. I'll take number 2.
You take applicant number 2. Mr. Cooper, by your choice, you have proved yourself the well-raised husband who knows his housekeepers and his wife. As a salute to your judgment, we want you to have this surprise basket. It contains a whisk broom, a dustpan, a dish mop, a pad for laundry lists, a kitchen memorandum book, along with can openers, egg flippers, pot lifters, and an automatic pencil so that you can keep track of the family expenses. Thank you for being with us, and good luck to you later when our judges elect America's best-raised husband of this week.
The candidate our judges elect America's best-raised husband of the week wins grand prizes for his wife. And tonight's grand prizes include a spun aluminum serving oven, a midnight blue earthenware teapot with gold leaf, and a 2-quart ice cube thermic crock.
Thank you, Dwight. Now, who's this next husband in house dress that the wives over here are all in such hysterics about? Who is this gentleman ready to prove his training?
Please, may I present tonight's candidate number 3, Mr. Page.
Hello there, Mr. Page.
How do you do?
Welcome to our family gathering.
Thank you.
You're going to enjoy working in that house dress tonight?
I hope so.
It's not going to get in your way, is it, Mr. Page?
That depends.
How many years have you been in training for tonight's competition?
Oh, about a year and 10 months of
You've
marriage.
been married a year and 10 months. Huh?
Right.
Have you been easily led along the paths of domesticity?
Well, led or misled, I've been in
Anyway, you're
domesticity. That's right.
That's a very good answer. Mr. Page, would you say you know a good deal about things you find around a house, articles you find in a home?
I guess I would.
Could you name 5 different kinds of tables, 5 different kinds of tables that you find in a home?
Yeah, there's a tea table,
1,
bridge table,
2,
a kitchen table,
3,
a dining room table,
4,
and a living room table.
5. That is wonderful, Mr. Page. Just rip them off like that. If you can name me 3 more, we'll give you an extra $5 on your prize when we get through. What about
There's a table in the kitchen we have to cut the vegetables on. I
a
don't know what to
vegetable
call it.
table?
A
All right,
vegetable
that's 2
table.
tables in the kitchen. That's fine.
There's a table in my wife's bedroom to make up and dress. You know, one of these
A
little
makeup
a
table.
makeup
That's
table.
2. One more.
And I have a
Don't get yourself all sewed up here now.
Oh, sewing table.
Absolutely, that's 3 more. All right, sir, and I wanted to ask you, there's just one more little question here along the subject of tables. What kind of a table do you use to fix the family budget?
What kind of a table?
Uh-huh. 2 times 2 times 2 times 4 times 6 times. What kind of table is that?
Timetable.
No. It's also known as the multiplication table. Agreed? What do you know about the other objects in a home? You're so wonderful at tables. You know, each of the articles that I'm going to name for you now has a companion. Now, for instance, if I said comb, you'd name brush for its companion. All right, so what goes with needles?
Thread.
Bread.
Butter.
Cup.
Saucer.
Soap.
Dish.
Ham.
Eggs.
Knife.
Fork.
Salt.
Pepper.
As the well-raised husband, you know plenty about the articles in the home. Now let's talk for a moment on the subject of good old home itself, shall we? It takes all kinds of homes to make a community, doesn't it, Mr. Page?
That's right.
Johnny God is going to describe some homes tonight in music. And as the well-informed, well-raised husband, we want to see how many of these homes you've recognized. It's $1 for every one that you identify correctly, and a special souvenir if you identify all these musical homes in this community. Now, here's your first tune. Here's your first home. Where is it located?
Home on the range.
Home on the range, absolutely correct. What's the address of this next home?
In Indiana.
Back home again in Indiana, and this is famous for its bright and shiny sun. Where is it located?
Kentucky.
My old Kentucky home. What kind of home does this one picture? Way up there with the chimneys.
Penthouse in the sky.
Penthouse serenade. All right, so what kind of nest is this little tune?
It's a love nest.
Love nest. And last but not least, one of the best-known homes in America. How do we call this by name? We're happy here.
In my blue heaven.
That is wonderful. You know, you give me another idea. I'm going to ask you to sing a little bit of that. Have you ever sung it?
Yeah, but I haven't got the words.
Well, we have the words right here for you. All right, audience, come on. Let's help him out. If you can't sing out there in the audience, whistle. All right, so just lead right off with those words, Mr. Page.
When whip call and evening is high, I hurry to my blue heaven. Turn to the right, a little white light will lead you to my blue heaven. You'll see a smiling face, a fireplace, a cozy room, a little nest that's nestled where the roses bloom. Just Molly and me, and baby makes 3. We're happy in my blue heaven.
Mr. Page, as the well-raised husband, you have certainly proved your knowledge of home to the tune of, what was it, right, $6 there?
$6 is right.
And he has $5 more coming to him that I promised him for those 3 tables. As a souvenir of this occasion, accept your surprise basket. It contains a pachisa board, a checkerboard, an indoor basketball game for your family's enjoyment at home, and an automatic pencil with which you can keep your scores. Thank you, sir, and good luck to you later in the show when our judges elect America's best-raised husband of this week.
Now, Irene, here's Mr. Askin, candidate number 4 and final contender for tonight's title.
Hello there, Mr. Askin.
How do you do, Irene?
Nice to thank you. Nice to have you at our family party. Do you feel like a graduate in the School of Well-Raised Husbands?
I think so.
And the house dress rests lightly upon your shoulders?
I think so.
Tell me, Mr. Askin, how are you at repairing things around the house?
Quite fair.
Who is best at making repairs, you or your wife?
It always falls back on me.
It always falls. Ultimately, it does. You know, Mr. Askin, they say that women are very ingenious in the tools that they use to fix things. Now, if woman needs a screwdriver, she'll use a nail file. Now, I'm going to ask you something. Let's see how much you know about woman's ingenuity in the field of repair. What does she use for a piece of wire? Do you want to read the answer? Look at him. Look at him. Just string along with us. What does she use for a piece
a cord,
of...
string.
A piece of string, right. What does she use for a pair of pliers, Mr. Askin?
She uses a fork or something like that.
Well, that could be. Or she uses, don't lift your eyebrow at me. I'm only tweezing you.
A pair of tweezers.
Eyebrow tweezers. What would she use for a hammer, sir? Audience? Shoo, baby.
Shoe.
No coaching in here, no coaching. What would she use for a wire cutter there, Mr. Askin?
Use a knife or something.
Well, a knife or a pair of...
Scissors?
Scissors, right. What does a woman use for a nail? Somebody in the audience said she uses her finger, but no, I don't think the nail is sharp enough. Don't let me get you all pinned up here.
Use a pen.
Right, her needle. What does she use for a guinea pig, Mr. Askin? What does your wife use for a guinea pig when she tries out a new dessert?
Use it on me.
She uses you for a guinea pig. Tell me, sir, do you object to being a guinea pig?
Sometimes.
You don't mind making a pig of yourself, though, huh?
No.
Tell me, sir, in your opinion, who does the most talking, Mr. Askin?
My wife does, definitely.
Your wife? Have you ever out-talked your wife?
Never.
The well-raised husband should be able to express himself, don't you think?
Sometimes I can't get a word in edgeways.
You mean you have to use very few words in order to say what you mean. As the well-raised husband tonight, we want to see just how well you can express yourself and how briefly. Now, Mr. Askin, we're going to give you just 2 words to use. Just 2 words to use in saying what you mean. The words are the familiar expression, oh, brother. Have you ever said them?
Sometimes.
How do you say them when you want to express a sigh, Mr. Askin? How would you say, oh, brother, when you meant just a sigh? Come on. Come on.
No.
Wouldn't you take a deep breath and say, oh, brother, huh?
I guess I would.
All right, now then you tell me. I'm asking you. How would you say, oh, brother, when you're happy?
Oh, brother.
That's the way. Now, that's the idea. You see, wait just a minute. I'm going to ask you a series of questions now, Mr. Askin, and all you can answer is no, brother. No, oh, brother, no matter how many questions or what I say, your next answer from now on will be, oh, brother. Is that correct?
All right.
You got it? But the way you say it will tell us what you mean and answer the question. All right, sir? Now, if your answers are clear and convincing, oh, brother, is there a surprise waiting for you at the end of this sequence? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here's your first question. How did you feel when you proposed to your wife?
Oh, brother.
Is that supposed to mean that you felt timid, Mr. Askin?
I was kind of weak.
Brother, how did you feel when your wife accepted you?
Oh, brother.
Do you mean you felt joyful on that one? What would you say, Mr. Askin, if you inherited $1 million?
Oh, brother.
How would you feel if you lost $1 million?
Brother.
That was so weak I didn't hear it. Let me hear that one again.
Oh, brother.
Yes, that's if you lost $1 million. Suppose, Mr. Askin, suppose you didn't have to pay any income tax.
Oh, brother.
Suppose you saw a ghost.
Oh, brother.
Mr. Askin, does it make you mad to stub your toe?
Oh, brother.
Now, you don't sound very angry about it. Let's stub it again.
Oh, brother.
Anger. What would make you more enthusiastic than anything in the world?
Oh, brother.
Oh, brother. And, Mr. Askin, if I were to tell you that here comes a big surprise for you on the stage, what would you say?
Oh, brother.
You have certainly guessed right, for you've certainly demonstrated your ability to express yourself clearly, briefly, and to the point. Now, here is your surprise basket for tonight. It contains jams, jellies, and candies to sweeten your conversation, a dictionary to help you find the words, and an automatic pencil to help you write the words down. Thank you for being with us. Good luck to you now as our judges prepare to elect America's best-raised husband of this week. All through this show, our candidates have been competing for the title America's Best-Raised Husband of this week, and grand prizes his wife will receive.
Candidate number 1 proved his camaraderie with his family. Number 2 proved his judgment of prospective housekeepers. Number 3 proved his knowledge of home and things in the home. And number 4 proved his ability to express himself.
Will you judges now fill in your ballots and elect the winner, while here on the stage we hold our Piggy Bank Derby.
This derby is a race in which all tonight's candidates compete for the contents of a piggy bank. There's a penny in the bank to represent each and every person in the theater. So tonight it's chubby sides or bulging.
You, our 4 candidates, have pencils and paper. You must solve this problem in a given length of time. Now listen carefully. Here is your problem. According to standard household measurements, how many tablespoons full of milk does it take to make a cup full of milk? Now, the candidate who gives the nearest correct answer to that problem wins tonight's piggy bank and its contents, and no peeking at each other's papers.
While our candidates write their answers, here's Irene and her song, featuring Bob Downey at the piano and Johnny Gard at the console.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. Since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Well, it doesn't show signs of stopping, and I brought some corn for popping. The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, how I'll hate going out in the storm. But if you'll really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. Oh, the fire is slowly dying. My dear, we're still goodbying. But as long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, how I'll hate going out in the storm. But if you'll really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. Oh, the fire is slowly dying. My dear, we're still goodbying. But as long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Right, our piggy bank question was, according to standard household measurements, how many tablespoons full of milk does it take to make a cup full of milk? The correct answer is 16. Which one of our candidates came nearest the correct answer, and who gets to break the piggy bank tonight?
It's Mr. Page, Irene, who guessed the correct answer.
Guess the correct answer, Mr. Page. Break the piggy bank and pocket your pennies. You will find that you have won 1,000 pennies, one to represent each and every person in this theater tonight. May you always solve problems so profitably. Now, before we announce the candidate elected by our judges as America's Best Raised Husband of this week, let us remind you that grand prizes go to his wife and salute. Tonight's grand prizes include
an aluminum combination cooker,
a spun aluminum oven server,
a 23-piece china dinner set,
a midnight blue earthenware teapot with gold leaf,
a 2-quart ice cube thermodor.
These are tonight's grand prizes. The judges' vote is in, and the winner is
Mr. Alan Page, who, by proving his knowledge of home and things in the home, has been acclaimed America's Best Raised Husband this week.
Mr. Page, we present you with this certificate of merit. Mrs. Page, we are proud to award you these grand prizes. They're all yours. Take them home, enjoy them, and may both of you have many more years of fun and happiness together.
Remember, Raising a Husband is out to find the best raised husbands in America. So be with us again next week, same time, same place on the dial, over most of these stations, when Irene Beasley says,
"What's the matter with Father?" Good night.
This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.